Hey everybody, it's Dana here from Safe Space Spiritual Coaching, and I just wanted to put out a little short, sweet message. It's November 29th, 2019, and of course, everybody's thinking about, or most people are thinking about Christmas and New Year's and the holidays, being with friends and family and all that stuff. All those beautiful things that we get to share with each other, which are really amazing and very special moments in time, of course. We want to appreciate those and appreciate the people and all the beautiful things that we have here as having a spirit, have being a spiritual being, having a human experience. So my focus really is spirituality and learning about more things that are beyond the third dimension. And thank God that humanity is starting to wake up now and realizing humanity is realizing that we are all one, and whatever we do for another we do for ourselves, and whatever we don't do for another we don't do for ourselves, because we're all interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent. And that's really important to realize, that we really are all connected. We look separate, we have individual bodies, individual lives, personalities, careers, likes, dislikes. However, at the same time, we are interconnected and interrelated and interdependent. So that's something I like to emphasize. And yeah, so I know most people are thinking about the holidays and Christmas and things like that. Of course, I'm sitting right behind a beautiful Christmas tree, as you could see. It's really a beautiful tree. I love Christmas trees myself. As a matter of fact, when I was a teenager, we sold I sold fresh Christmas trees to neighborhoods around my home, which is a lot of fun. It was snowing like crazy, but it was just a really fun time. So, one of the things I want to talk about tonight, since most people are talking about the law of attraction, while I've been meditating over the past several weeks, I discovered something that I've kind of known for a long time. And it's funny, a friend of mine in New Mexico had thought about the same thing, and we were both talking about this. It's really funny. So, what I call it is the law of distraction. And so we have the law of attraction. We have the law of distraction, which no one's talking about. And I hope that this will be a very popular YouTube. So please click on the like button, send it to your friends, and tell them about, excuse me, the law of distraction. And this is really important because I think most of us really want to focus. We want to have focus. We want to have concentration. We want to set goals. A lot of us are setting goals, and we're reaching our goals, which is great. Making a certain amount of money, meeting a partner, buying a house, getting a good job, all those top of the list things that people are wanting to manifest in their lives. So those are all great, and they're all very, very important. And I encourage making peace with yourself, making peace with money, especially making peace with money, because right now on this planet, I don't know if any of you know this, but right now on this planet, there are more millionaires than ever in the history of time. And so I want you to listen to this. There right now are 43 million millionaires. So let me say that again. Right now, at this time, on November 29th, 2019, there are currently 43 million millionaires on planet Earth. And that to me is amazing and exciting because, hey, if they can do it, we can do it. And there's more than enough for everyone. However, my video right now is about the law of distraction. So, how do you set a goal for making $1 million and not get sidetracked by the law of distraction? Well, that's a good question. And I'm going to do a video series talking about how we can have more focus and concentration in our life. First of all, though, I just want to mention 7 things that I think are the most important uh, ways to be aware of how we get distracted. So, number one, entertainment. And of course, we all love to be entertained, and entertainment is great. It just depends on what kind of entertainment that you enjoy. Some people like watching monster trucks, going to a big stadium and breathing diesel fuel and watching monster trucks, you know, drive all over the place, and that's fine. Or how about heavyweight wrestling? That's another form of entertainment. To me, they're both distractions. Number two, television. And God knows we love our television there. And I will say there are some excellent shows, especially for me, growing up in the 60s and 70s with television, watching shows like MASH and all the classic television shows, Leave It to Beaver and Happy Days. I'm sure a lot of you remember those television shows that I grew up with. And now 30, 40 years later, I don't watch television at all. I do watch Netflix. However, I'm very selective about what I watch. And so that's just important to me to be very careful about what I let into my mind and my consciousness. So right now I'm being very mindful and reprogramming myself to be very positive and uplifting and inspiring. Okay, so number two was television. Number one was entertainment. Number three, the internet. Of course, the internet is amazing and we love the internet. I myself love the internet. I use it all the time. And I think Google and YouTube have done an amazing job of putting out the most incredible information. And literally, we have like a online library, university that we can learn almost anything, and that's including the internet and YouTube. So thank you again, Google and YouTube, for doing that. At the same time, it can be a distraction, especially if you're spending too much time on the internet. And again, what kind of information are you reading about? What kind of information are you listening to? And whatever you are paying attention to, of course, will expand in your world and in your consciousness, because where your attention goes, energy flows. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So I would just say a word to the wise is be very careful about what you do read. If you're reading too much about right now is a big, there's a real big thing happening in politics about the president and him possibly being impeached. I don't watch it. I don't have to. The funny thing is that I say to my friends, even though I don't watch television, I have all the information at the tip of my fingers because everyone else is a broadcasting station. People that I know are talking about it. People I know are watching it. And for me, it's just not important. I do not have time to watch that kind of information. I call it basically nonsense. So television is another one. Excuse me, social media. And this is one that a lot of you probably will not agree with. However, I see that it can be true, and not always. Of course, it's not 100% of the time. However, our family can be a distraction. And of course, I love my family, and I know that there's a lot of beautiful relationships with family and everything out there. And that's a really good thing. I encourage you to develop and nurture your family relationships. And at the same time, remember that it can take more of your time than you actually want it to. I mean, say for example, you want to write a book, or you want to write some short stories or songs, and you're being distracted by a family member, and you love them, of course, and they need your help. And I encourage that again. Of course, give them your assistance. At the same time, don't be too distracted where you get dragged down by certain family situations and drama. And everybody has drama in their lives. I have my own drama. We all have our own dramas. But at the same time, I just encourage you to be in your power and have some healthy boundaries. And that was number five. Number six, friends. And we all have friends we love and adore. I do myself. And at the same time, again, friends can be a big distraction, especially if either we are calling them a lot or talking to them. We could be distracting ourselves, or them calling us, they could be distracting us. Whatever way that keeps you from really fulfilling yourself and your mission on planet Earth. And we all have a divine mission, and we all have a divine birthright to be, do, or have anything that we want. So I would just take a look at that over the next several days and just think about, are there any friends that you have that are distracting you? And finally, we come to number seven. And these are two of the big ones, as a matter of fact. So these are alcohol and food. So I can say for myself, being Sicilian, I love food, and growing up, I loved alcohol, and I drank a lot of it, especially when I was younger, being 18 and being able to go into the bars in southern New Jersey at the age of 18 till 4 o'clock in the morning and drink as much beer as I wanted to. And then, of course, at times drinking harder alcohol as well. And thank God I learned that lesson pretty well. So I can say for myself that I've been alcohol free now for over 20 years. I quit alcohol cold turkey and never looked back. And so I can see now, looking from the outside in, that alcohol is a huge distraction. And 80%, as Sadhguru says on YouTube, that 80% of the world's population is addicted to alcohol and prescription drugs or some kind of drug. Again, that's 80% of 7.5 billion people are addicted to alcohol. And then the other one that goes with it, along with that, is food, of course. And food is a beautiful thing. I love food myself too, being Sicilian, Italian, whatever. And yeah, so again, be mindful about what you're taking into your temple. Your body is your temple, and that's where the divine resides inside of you. So I encourage all of you, but when you're buying food, be very selective about what you eat. There are so many choices on the market right now, and when I go to the store, literally there are certain stores that I completely avoid because I know there is nothing in that store that I would eat. And and many of the stores, there's only a couple of aisles that I could shop down and know that that is something that I could put into my body and that would be healthy and to create long-lasting health for me. So again, I want you to just think about those things. They are really important to me, and I think if you are honest with yourself, that you'll see that they're important to you too. And that's what I call the law of distraction. So blessings to everyone. Thank you very much. I'm pretty new at doing YouTubes. However, I am intending to have a strong desire to put more out, even though I don't have all the professional equipment to do that. So I'm doing the best I can with my phone right now. Thank you, God, for smartphones. Thank you, thank you, thank you for smartphones. So that's my take on the law of distraction. And so over the next several videos, I may add a few more things that we get caught up in, and things that I would also consider distracting ways of being in the world. And the reason I want to mention this is basically um, at this time in the history of humanity, we are at a tipping point. And the tipping point is either we choose to move forward and be more kind to ourselves, the environment, and the world we live in, or we may come to a choice where we create literally a very unhealthy environment, which really was where what we already have right now. However, I do believe in being positive and optimistic, and I do see good changes coming ahead. So one saying is that it's always darkest before dawn, and I still believe that God is still in charge. So that's my positive note for right now. Thank you for watching my video. Please send it out into the YouTube universe. Send it to your friends and family. With love, respect for all of you. Thank you very much again. Namaste.